Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads, Junaid Mohammed warns of disintegration of national unity through Amotekun as Yorubas reveal their true mission and intent. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. Alright, let's look at the news in detail.
Recently, the governors of Southwest states came together to set up a security outfit called Amotekun to check insecurity in their region. This comes as the national security architecture seems overwhelmed, but the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, said it is unconstitutional. They asked Junaid now what to take. He said, first and foremost, a line has been drawn among most conscientious and not reasonable Nigerians. A line has been drawn on the question of the desire or otherwise of what people call state police. Agitation for state police started from the Southwest. It was purely political. It has nothing to do with security. It started long before this Fourth Republic, and the main purpose for the agitation for state police was that some political element among the elites of the Southwest believed that somehow they would be in position to exercise political power to their own satisfaction unless they control those elements of national police, particularly police and the secret services. This is not new, so they kept on the agitation until this republic, especially from 2009, when the security situation became much dire with the emergence of Boko Haram. So you can see clearly they use the dire state of the insecurity in the state of the country as an alibi. There was a political intent, there was a political purpose. They needed to create a regional police, not just state police emanating from that part of the country, because of the idea of seceding to create Oduduwa Republic for a very long time. So now that the federal government using the president as one single spokesperson on the issue has yielded to them on the idea of state police, they quickly went round and rediscovered their old agenda of having their own regional police, and now they came up quickly with this Amotekun. The way things are happening in Nigeria so quickly, it must be a surprise to us who are observant that within a very short period that they have been given the right to do it, they have come up with structure, they have bought vehicles, and they are planning to buy arms. So if people are concerned, they are justifiably concerned, because this is nothing new but a rediscovery of an old agenda which is tied up with the idea of seceding, because they have gotten everything they wanted from Nigeria. They control the economy. Lagos alone controls over 50% of the economy, and they believe that they can do without Nigeria, even though in their own view, to rubbish everything that is national, they forget that they forget the fact that even if they have the manufacturing base, they don't have the market to sell. Without the market, I don't see how the economy can thrive. Everything in Lagos today was done by the federal government. Somehow they believe that they can get away with it, retain what is their own, let the rest of us all go and wallow in poverty. Good luck to them, Junaid said. I don't want to speak on what Attorney General has said, because I am not a member of his party, neither am I a member of his government. I am completely persuaded that what was wrong to have allowed the idea of a state police. Some of us have been talking against it for over 2 decades. Now that it has come to pass, the hidden agenda has now come out. Nigerians should now open their eyes to see what is afoot. As I said, when General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida's regime decided to create Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, and he appointed Professor Wole Soyinka, one of the proud statements of Soyinka was that he was going to arm most of his officers who came from among his boys, errand boys, many of who came from background of drama and fine art. How do you think they could take charge of extensive road network in Nigeria? Nobody cared to ask. The idea of arming FIRS died only because the FRSC died only because the seed money given for the takeoff of the project was said to have allegedly been put in somebody's personal account, and it became a national scandal. But the question now is, he now asked, he said, but the Attorney General never issued any statement against Hisbah in Kano. They are now comparing Amotekun to Hisbah. He said, in Kano and Zamfara, Hisbah don't bear arms. In Northeast, particularly in Borno, Metropolis, and part of Adamawa, the people recruited are hunters who carry bow and arrow. Can you compare that with sophisticated guns and submachine guns that are being carried by Operation Amotekun members? The argument advanced by Falana is fraudulent, divisible. Hisbah has never carried arms. Anyway, Hisbah itself has never been universally accepted. I am one of those who opposed it in the past, and I took my position to both Obasanjo and also the late Bola Ige. As far as I'm concerned, the comparison between Hisbah and Amotekun, which is going to be a force under a single command with lavished amount of money and communication gadgets and vehicles to rival the federal government security outfit, which is represented in those areas, is a recipe for anarchy and confusion and those lawyers who are trying to present those arguments are being simply dubiously, as always. He now went further to talk about is there civil war looming? He said, I think there is a misguided conviction among some politicians in certain parts of this country that somehow the country owes them a living, that the country cannot do without them, that whatever they want must be law and must be a cardinal point of this country. That cannot happen. Secondly, the idea that we can develop by being divergent, reckless, and irresponsible does not hold because history does not prove that. Thirdly, those who imagine that somehow they can make their own mistake and make the entire country pay for their mistake are also being fascists. Those who encourage others to go to civil war only to come and laugh at the people who are the receiving end. The damage the civil war did to this country is a great disservice because without that tribal coup, of course, the creation of more state and the civil war, Nigeria would have been a better place and even our own democracy would have matured. But here we are today, you cross your bridge as you approach it. The way we are now, there is no alternative to national police. But I believe someday when we are more sophisticated, more sincere, and we'll be with a better leadership, then it will be possible to delegate some of the powers in regards to maintenance of security. In our further to say, but I hope that the federal government learns its own lessons because you don't make policies by opening your mouth to say, go do this or don't do this. Go back to the law. Many of them are lawyers. If they don't understand that the law itself is supreme, and as far as possible, we should follow the law as provided before we do anything reckless. Because this idea of Amotekun was an act of recklessness, he said. Those who are at the forefront of Amotekun, while in Abuja, they are APC. But when they go back to their respective states, they are something else. So it shows you that these people are actually unreliable. If care is not taken, they will drag us into another civil war. And I don't believe the country can survive another civil war, Junaid says.
All right. Thank you very much for that long read and a lot of things that he has exposed about the reason why Amotekun has been propagated. But at the same time, we are going to look at, because one of the things I noticed about his discussion is that Junaid is a one-sided guy. When he wants to talk, he tries to avoid talking about the North, but tries to throw all his missiles, all his complaints and blames to the South. Now, first of all, we have to also look at, from our own perspective, what are the things that actually engineer this Amotekun? Yeah, he is talking about that it has always been their mission to have a state police, to have a people that will be a force to reckon with. Don't forget that this same Southwest that we are talking about, this is not the first time they are having a group like Amotekun. OPC, I'm talking about Odua People's Congress, is as strong as Amotekun. The only thing is that maybe it's not regional, and thus far that they have not been a threat to national integration. They have not been a threat to national unity. So for me, what he's saying is best that as much as Nigerians know, the reason why there's overly so much fear in the minds of the North is the fact that the propagation of Amotekun will go an extra mile in stopping some of their hidden agendas, which we have in one way or the other perceived via the words of Meiti Allah. That's the Meiti Allah leader who came up plain and trying to talk about that the reason for Amotekun is actually to fight fight Fulani herdsmen. And already, we have already seen what these guys have done. Before we go further into more discussion, let's just look at one of the things that Nigerians have to say about these words, these things that he has said. The first person said, Junaid, shut up. Okay, say Junaid should shut up. The North can play politics with Boko Haram, and billions of naira is taken from us to develop your land, right? Why we Southwest can't set up a community policing to wave off criminal? Go and warn your people that the Southwest won't tolerate any notoriety either from the Fulani herdsmen, IPOP, or any other neighbor taking our hospitality for granted. Another one here says, which civil war? We assemble security to defend ourselves. They can target anything they like. Amotekun is here to stay. Another one here says, foolish people, and who will fight a civil war? It will be not, and mention a lot of Hausa, no reaction, no oil, no access to sea, no power, no money from IGR, no oil to buy weapon. They can't fight no war. Uncle, this is 2020 and not 1967. That person is talking about the people of the Northerners. This one said all those rubbish Boko Haram things should stay in the North. Junaid is not an intelligent man. If not, aren't careful, this is what will bring the prognosticated stratification of Nigeria. North Central is predominantly Christian, and they know better now. A lot of things have been said by different people. So we just want to look at his statement. Now, the last paragraph is what I'm really interested in. And in that last paragraph, he talked about APC. He said those who are at the forefront of Amotekun, while they are in Abuja, they are APC. Now, it's important for us to realize, yes, that APC is a political party. But at the same time, immediately you are elected into office, you are not meant to run by the objective of APC. The most important thing that should stand in you, any person's face, is the people you are representing. Why must you begin to be emphatic about APC? What business? Okay, which means if APC say, as you are stepping back to your own individual zone, kill everybody, the governors will be foolish enough to do that. Or maybe as you guys are going back to your places, know that our plan is to see how the North can invade APC, and everybody will say, yes, sir, go on, we agree. It can't work that way. The Southwesterners have been foolish thus far, and they have refused to be foolish this time around. And that is why they are gearing a lot of, support behind, this Amotekun, because it's one way of at least ensuring that the territory, the region is protected from every form of external, invasion. It's protected against criminality. It's protected against miscreants who continually come in to do mayhem in that environment. That's what they're trying to do. So don't expect them to begin to carry APC on their head when their own people are suffering. Don't forget, after 8 years, you return back to those same people. And guess what? Most people that have been disturbed today by miscreants and all those, when they were in office, they refused to do the right thing. And that's why they are suffering. So for me, everything that he's saying here is baseless. Tracing it back to when Professor Wole Soyinka, I'm very objective. Tracing it back to when Wole Soyinka was the chairman of MIRS and all of that, it doesn't link. I'm not seeing any linking point. It doesn't make any sense, because before now we've already have a lot of vigilante in the Southwest, and it has never generated any trouble, or it has never generated any wahala. So that's just it.
Well, for me, it's no more news. Thank God that the Yorubas have decided to see how it is being played, decided not to be used anymore as a tool for governance. But let's call it spade a spade. There's every region has what is known for. Every region have what is being tagged for. If you go online, the feelers, even Junaid will say that averagely they call the North parasite of the nation. I didn't say that, he said that. But if we begin to look at why Nigeria is called, why Nigeria's people, the world view Nigeria as a terrorist state or encourage terrorism of some sort, is because some groups are always coming up and they keep, for a very long time now. They've always been in the radar. Each time you look at terrorism, by the time you mention some big names, some names that are already recurrent in Nigeria will come up. And thank God he mentions some groups like Boko Haram. Boko Haram is not only the one now, Boko Haram is one of the deadliest. We also have the likes of ISWAP, which is now eminent. It's now a West African terrorist group, now eminent, also having their presence in Nigeria. We have the Fulani headsmen. Yes, I'm not saying all the headsmen are terrorists, but a greater number of them that we can't identify are one. We have the new one that just recently come out, that's the Jomatu, Nusratu, Islami, Walid. That's another terrorist group that's emanated all from the northern region. What do you expect other occupants of Nigerians to do, to fold their arms and watch terrorist groups like Boko Haram, the Fulani headsmen, and the rest that are already known to be deadly to come and attack them in their homes? That's why they decided to create security outfit like Amotekun. Don't begin to call it special names. Should they fold their arms and being attacked? I feel Junaid is going too emotional here. I feel he's being too sentimental here. Amotekun, if you can't stop the terrorist group from being formed, and you allow them to grow to the level of becoming a renowned terrorist group, then they should allow security network to also grow to become a renowned group that will stop all form of terrorism in all their regions.
All right, thank you very much. That's where we are going to stop. Please go to our comment section. Let us interact. What's your position on this statement made by all this?